Hey, good afternoon. Hi, it's Jim. How you doing? It's Sunday. And today I'm listening to Porcupine Tree. Porcupine Tree that I've not heard before. But not only that, Porcupine Tree that I've not heard before, but that is on vinyl. Old Porcupine Tree. It is side one from The Sky Moves Sideways. And the song is The Sky Moves Sideways. This is, I believe, the first album that Porcupine Tree made as a band, rather than it just being Stephen Wilson with some guest musicians, I guess, making it all together. So he's decided at this point he's going to put a band together. And it's the usual suspects minus Gavin Harrison, although he does make an appearance on here, I think as a session musician on a couple of tracks. But this first song, which is The Sky Moves Sideways, has got Stephen Wilson playing the bulk of the guitars, keyboards, not the bulk of the keyboards, but bulk of the guitars, keyboards, programming, flutes, vocals. Richard Barbieri on synths and other electronics. Colin Edwin, the first time he's appeared as part of the band on the bass. And Chris Maitland on drums and percussion. But also Suzanne Barbieri on vocals, Theo Travis on flute. So there's a bunch of other people in here as well. Now, this, as I say, this is old Porcupine Tree. I don't know this, so it's going to be quite interesting to compare this to the much, I say more recent. Porcupine Tree haven't made music for a long time now, but this is in their infancy. So I'm very interested to hear this. So we've got a camera pointing over at the record player. So let's do this. Let's get this ready to go. Looking good. Make sure I remember to press record on QuickTime so we get the audio recording. I think that's going. Just do a little tap on there. Yep, that's picking that up. Right. Let's do this, shall we? Quite excited. Right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Bosh. Yeah. I need to turn this up a bit. It's quite a long piece of music, this as well. This is lost the thing there. I think it's 18 minutes. It's the whole of the side, anyway. Actually know anything about this, what it's about or anything. Good atmospheres. This reminds me of the Orb at the minute. This really does sound like the Orb. This is a fantastic album. And this sounds ever so much like one of the tracks on here. Less now. But that beginning bit. This has got a much more positive feeling to it than older Porcupine Tree. Younger Porcupine Tree, I should say. Newer Porcupine Tree. Like this. You just want to drift off, don't you? Really interesting chord changes. Huh.
We lost the skyline. We stepped right off the map. Drifted into blank space. And let the clocks relapse.
This is beautiful.
Slow burn on the lawn. Ghosts across the desert. Swallowed up the stone.
Got quite a Floydy sort of feel to it.
We walked beside below.
It's definitely not a Gavin Harrison drum pattern, but I like it a lot. It's really nice.
Sometimes I am the kind of
There's so much Porcupine Tree you can hear in this, as in what they became. Oh, hello. This reminds me of Osric Tentacles now. It's real sort of like space rocky sort of vibe. This is a Porcupine Tree I like. And I like Porcupine Tree anyway, but you know what? It's good to see where they've come from. Great bass line. Really great bass line. It's such a shame these guys aren't playing together anymore, isn't it? This is covering a lot of ground. Wow. This is so good. It is though very, very Osric Tentacles influence, I think. Little break beat in the background. What a melting pot of genres this is. This is fast becoming one of my favourite things I've heard from Porcupine Tree. I'm just looking up some dates and things on here, so I'll tell you why in a minute. Right, hold on. I just need to stop the record. Right, turn that off. Well, what do we say? Where do we start with that? That is just magnificent. It's absolutely gorgeous piece of music. It's really interesting, really interesting from my point of view to see where Porcupine Tree came from, how they grew and evolved and developed over the years. So this is sort of very early Porcupine Tree, third LP or third record in, and the first time that it was a band. Now this is circa 1995, which is what I was just looking. I was just looking up when this was released on the web, and it's so interesting, or I don't know if interesting is the right word, but it's slightly interesting that this was released around the same time as we had this in the UK, a notorious battle between Oasis and Blur in the charts, and it was the height of Britpop, which was just this resurgence of derivative sort of 1960s guitar poppy stuff. It's all right. It's good. I mean, I'm not going to diss it at all, because it was, a lot of people loved it, and it changed the charts, and it changed music in the UK. But what was interesting is that at the time that this was all going on, there would be award sessions going on with bands with best albums of the year, most original music, blah blah blah. I bet Porcupine Tree wasn't in any of that stuff, and it's sad to me that music like this, and it is now, isn't it? Music like this is being created, but music like this was being created then, but largely ignored by the general population. But stuff like just as I say, derivatives is I'm making out that I'm sort of very anti it. I'm not, but I just find it's a little bit sad that much easier, not very challenging music won over the entire population, whereas something which is interesting and thought about and constructed and probably took a very long time to develop and to come up with would have been largely ignored. Having said that, a band has to start somewhere. So as we fast forward through time, we get to when Gavin Harrison joined, which was around about In Absentia, and then for the 3 albums that followed that, 3 or 4 albums, anyway, however many, until they all disbanded. Porcupine Tree never became big, did they? They are, isn't it the thing? Stephen Wilson is the most important and influential musician that no one's ever heard of, and I think that's obviously true to this as well. Just beautiful music. It's very different from what they became. Obviously, as the band went along and time went along, they had to start drawing influences and inspirations from all over the place, so they became much heavier. I think Stephen Wilson became involved in producing Opeth, for example, so there's a crossover there. They started to bring in some sort of heavy metal stuff into the Porcupine Tree sound, which is then the classic stuff that everyone now listens to, Anesthetize and Blackest Eyes and Trains and all that sort of stuff. But equally, it went the other way, didn't it? So I think Porcupine Tree and Stephen Wilson seeded an interest in mellower, progressive music into Opeth. So the Opeth sound changed. It's all very interesting how all these artists sort of crossbreed into each other and sort of inspire and so on and so forth. This is a great record. I'm looking forward to listening to the rest of this. no regrets buying this whatsoever. And that is just a superb piece of music. I loved how that meandered and moved and changed and evolved. So many influences and different sounds in there. It had a very, very strong orb influence at the beginning, and then there's a lot of Osricks in there. There really was, and then sort of electronica stuff, sort of dancey bits and bobs, and it was all over the place, and quite a lot of Floyd as well. Just great, really good, really, really good. I'm going to stop this video in a minute because our battery on here is going to be running out within the next minute and a half. So what I'll do is I'll wrap this up before it gets too long. But just to say, what a great piece of music. Porcupine Tree has never failed to impress so far. I have now listened to a lot of it, but I haven't really delved into the old stuff. Hence, I've got this. Lightbulb Sun is sitting down here. I haven't listened to that yet. And I did listen to, what was it, Voyage 34 a year or so ago, which is very different. Very, very different. But they're a great band, really are a great band, and sadly missed. I don't think they're ever going to get back together again, sadly. Very, very sadly. However, the music is still there, isn't it, for us to listen to? So it's not all bad. I'll see you guys on the next video, whenever and whatever that is. And until then, this is Jim, over and out.